Welcome back, Focus Learners. Have you ever found yourself completely baffled by the timeline of a guy's heart? Trust me, it can be incredibly confusing. So today, we are diving into this explainer with one simple goal. We're going to demystify the often opaque process of male emotional attachment. We're going to decode the exact stages of how men fall in love, step by step.
Because seriously, what actually happens inside his head? It's kind of the ultimate romantic mystery, right? When he's catching feelings, what is really processing in his mind? Well, we aren't just going to guess here. We are building a clear, logical roadmap to solve this core mystery so you can truly understand the progression of his attachment.
Now, you've probably noticed this, but a guy's emotions might not be super obvious at first, but when they fall, oh man, they fall incredibly hard over time. Women, on the other hand, often have a completely different emotional processing speed and pacing in early romance. The reality is, guys just do not fall in love the exact same way girls do. And that is exactly why we need to break down their specific, chronological staircase.
So here is our romantic blueprint for today. Think of this agenda as our step-by-step roadmap to the male mind. We'll be moving through the spark and curiosity, building emotional connection, protection and attachment, the commitment choice, and finally, decoding true love. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive right into this first phase. Stage 1, spark and curiosity, the initial draw. Now we really need to redefine physical attraction here. It isn't just about looks. It's about the energy, the confidence, the smile, and literally even the tone of voice you carry yourself with. So while he might be making up completely transparent excuses just to be around you or casually checking your Instagram, this is heavily about your vibe. But remember, and this is absolutely crucial, it is not love quite yet. He's just intrigued.
Because real love takes way more than just attraction. That initial physical and energetic draw, that gets him through the door. But a major psychological shift has to happen to move him from that surface-level interest to the next crucial step.
And that step is the curiosity phase. This is where he wonders what kind of person you really are. He pays attention to your little habits, he texts you first, asks a ton of questions, and actively tries to make you laugh. He is basically testing the waters to see how you respond. Matching his energy here is what slowly builds that foundational emotional attraction. If he enjoys the rhythm of this dance, he's definitely going to want more.
So let's move to the next stage and see exactly how this builds. Stage 2, building emotional connection. This is when things get real. At the very core of this stage is emotional safety. This is the feeling of being understood, truly connected, and deeply valued. It's the catalyst that prompts a guy to start opening up and sharing his dreams, his fears, and his personal struggles. And what's really interesting here is the profound shift. When a guy finally feels emotionally safe with you, that is the exact moment he truly starts falling. It's no longer just about attraction, it's about deep psychological comfort.
Now let's slow things down just a bit as we climb to a more grounded, profound step in this staircase. Stage 3, protection and attachment, becoming his safe space.
Here, we need to redefine the protective instinct. We aren't talking about some cliché knight in shining armor complex. We're talking about emotional responsibility. He genuinely feels responsible for your happiness. This manifests in the little things, like checking in just to make sure you're okay, or offering completely unprompted help. It's his quiet, practical way of showing love without having to shout it from the rooftops. He actively wants to be your go-to person when things get tough.
And that protective nature, it naturally transitions right into the attachment phase. At this point, he's actually bothered by the thought of losing you. He pictures you in his future, and you become a deeply ingrained part of his daily routine. At this stage, he's actively seeking consistency and security. He literally cannot imagine his life without you in it. The relationship has become undeniably deep.
Which brings us to the narrative peak of our explainer, where the stakes are definitely the highest. Stage 4, the commitment choice. He chooses you fully.
Love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. That is a powerful realization that fundamentally changes how we view relationships. When a man is genuinely in love, he makes that active choice every single day. He doesn't just rely on fleeting emotions or that initial spark we talked about earlier. No, he actively does the work to maintain the bond.
And this brilliantly illustrates the final shift. He stops looking for other options and starts making plans that include you. He is all in. He is ready to invest the time, the effort, and the energy required to keep that connection incredibly strong. If a guy is consistently demonstrating these behaviors, you can be sure he is genuinely in love.
All right, let's bring it all together and summarize the amazing journey we've just mapped out. Stage 5, Decoding True Love, the final review.
Looking at this sequential journey, from the initial attraction and curiosity all the way to a daily commitment choice, it really validates a core truth. Men might not express love exactly how women do, but when they fall deeply. They have to move through these specific stages, climbing this exact staircase to build that unshakable bedrock of deep commitment.
So, your ultimate takeaway is this. Love should feel effortless, secure, and above all, mutual. If you're ever wondering where you stand with someone, pay close attention to these stages. If a guy isn't moving through this progression, well, he simply might not be emotionally ready yet. And you know what? Recognizing this early on can save you a whole lot of confusion and heartbreak. Remember, never settle for anything less than real love.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick question to really think about. What small thing made you realize he was falling? Think back on your own relationships. Was it a specific text message? Maybe a quiet moment of unprompted help? Keep reflecting on these emotional roadmaps. Apply what you've learned today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.